The Build Back Better plan or Biden's big border blunder? Okay, I'm Dan Stein, President of FAIR with RJ Hauman, FAIR's Director of Government Relations and Communications. Okay, got a little promo there. All right, we are burning the midnight oil, and as you can see, all our resources are depleted because we can't even afford ceramic cups. We're going to talk about what's happening in Congress, but first I want to discuss Mayorkas. Secretary Mayorkas, Department of Homeland Security, testified before the Senate yesterday, and RJ is going to give us a quick thumbnail analysis on a grade of A to Z. If you were to give Mayorkas a grade for effectiveness, how would you grade him, and how would you compare that to the grade he gave himself?
Well, I'd give him a Z. I mean, he's beyond failing. I mean, our border is in a crisis like we've never seen before. But again, in the eyes of the Biden administration and how he views himself, they're succeeding. I mean, he gave himself an A for effort. I mean, I'd give him an F for effort and a Z for results. I mean, the guy is absolutely obliterated border security. He's trying to abolish ICE from within. As Chuck Grassley, the ranking member.
Yeah, Chuck Grassley said something kind of fun.
Yeah,
what did he say?
He said that Mayorkas has staffed DHS with the Abolish ICE fan club, which is true. You know, under Trump, you had a focus on former law enforcement officials, people who value the rule of law, and the very reasons why these agencies exist, to keep our nation secure, to enforce our immigration laws. He has a bunch of people over there who want our borders open. They want as many people in as possible through a variety of avenues, ones that already exist that they're trying to carve out and new ones that they're trying to create. But again, there were some good questions and some good, exchanges that a lot of Republican senators put out there, both on the vetting of Afghans and the crisis down there at the border. But again, a change will not come until the Biden administration is no longer in control of these immigration agencies. Because again,
the senators asked a lot of gotcha questions, but did anybody get a concession from Mayorkas that he would change anything that they don't agree with?
No. But they got him, I think, to admit where their priorities are. Again, I think he did say, I forget what the senator is who kind of pinned him on this, but he basically said that amnesty or just immigration reform, the cloak they put over the A word because they know it's bad politically, is the top priority right now. And he was encouraging Congress. And
that was Senator Cotton.
That was Senator Cotton was pushing him on that, and that was fantastic. We're obviously very close with his office. But again, this is stuff the American people should take note of. Again, their top priority is to keep our borders open and let as many people in under the guise of legality. Republicans will be able to check Mayorkas and the agency he leads if they do take back one of the chambers or both of the chambers in 2022, because you'll be able to attach a lot of strings to the funding that gets these agencies moving. Again, if you're going to provide more Border Patrol agents and everything to DHS, you have to have strings attached on the money. It can't be used to process migrants that are coming into the country quickly. It needs to be used to enforce laws as they're written. So again, this is all on the ballot come 2022.
Well, Mayorkas continually tells us that he believes that justice is more important than border security, even though it's called the Department of Homeland Security, not Department of Homeland Security and Justice. Now, justice is an interesting word, one of the most complicated words in the English language, and it can mean many, many things to many different people. And there's all kinds of justice. But in general, justice means that what ought to happen does happen. Well, people need to be asking Mayorkas, you say you want an immigration policy consistent with our values. That apparently justifies everything Mayorkas is doing, including ignoring the law, changing the law, not caring whether the law is ever enforced or not. No one has ever asked him, what exactly are your values?
Right.
And where do the American people fit in this equation? Senators generally did a pretty good job. Mayorkas tends to take too long to answer a question. He's very good at trying to run out the clock. I think the thing that Mayorkas is missing is that we're not all, rubes, okay? We're not all stupid. We all know what he's doing when he comes up there and answers every question with 50 words. He has zero credibility on Capitol Hill. He's completely destroyed the confidence of the people within Department of Homeland Security. Morale is in the tank. He's jeopardizing the lives of our border security agents, our border patrol agents, and people who work for ICE. He's rendered basically inert the core functions of this department. And he seems to be completely unapologetic about the fact that he's now exacerbated an immigration crisis that is completely beyond the capacity of anyone to solve. We have a new paradigm. New paradigm is the country, from perhaps allowing more illegal immigration than it should, now can no longer control its borders even if the nation wanted to. Now, against this backdrop, we see this Build Back Better reconciliation budget bill, and the Democrats won't take no for an answer. Even though the Senate parliamentarian has twice said, no, 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 they keep coming back. Big money, big tech money, Silicon Valley, Mark Zuckerberg, all those guys, community organizations, they all want big amnesty. What's the status now? What do folks need to do?
Well, again, the House will be voting likely this week on the Build Back Better plan. Now, keep in mind, a lot of so-called moderate Democrats asked to wait to vote on this thing. President Biden signed the infrastructure bill into law. These things were paired up together, but now they're independent. They want a CBO score. It's the Congressional Budget Office.
Right, they have to wait for that score, right?
Well, they don't have to wait for it.
That's supposed to tell us what this costs.
Correct. They don't
Even
have
though nobody knows how much the IRS is going to get when they sick these tax collectors after.
Correct,
people,
but they don't have to wait for it. Okay, the moderates simply said they want a little political cover just in case. We're still in the camp of they're likely going to drop this score. Again, how much the bill costs, they go section by section. So immigration will be shown independently and they add it all up. And then they can decide, okay, should I vote for this or should I not? We still believe they will. It is likely this thing will pass. But one thing you have to keep in mind is whatever the House passes, if it contains an amnesty, they have to start over in the Senate. The Senate parliamentarian, as you said, will likely rule again. Even if she does rule in favor of it, we can try to strip it with a big grassroots approach and our efforts on Capitol Hill as well. But where things stand right now is the House will likely vote on the $1.75 trillion Build Back Better plan likely on Thursday or Friday of this week. They'll likely vote on it, and we think it will pass. Now, what it does contain is the third effort at amnesty. And Dan, the funniest thing here is they try to build this as temporary. They're giving parole to about 7 million illegal aliens, allows them to stay here and leave the country freely, also gives them work authorization so they can work freely, take American jobs, work wherever they want. Again, it does other things even on the immigration front too. It expands the child tax credit, gives illegal aliens over $10 billion. Has a big legal immigration increase through visa recapture. I think it'll be over 1 million new legal immigrants coming in. And then lastly, it gives USCIS $2.8 billion in taxpayer dollars to process these amnesty applications.
Oh, wow. Isn't that great? Yeah. You have to spend billions of dollars giving amnesty to lawbreakers.
Yeah, and then that's not all. And that's not all. Again, they're saying the whole entire cost of the amnesty itself will be over $100 billion. And under this whole reconciliation thing, that's a good thing because they're trying to spin this as a budgetary thing, not a policy thing.
Yeah, it's a budget buster, so therefore it should go in a reconciliation
And one thing
bill.
I think Dan can shine a little bit of light on, and this is something we've been trying to debunk in public or whatever, is they're trying to bill what's happening here. It's only a 10-year parole. They're saying it's not amnesty because it's temporary. And as Dan, you know, of working on this issue for decades, anything in the immigration space billed as temporary is permanent.
Well, now you may be asking yourself, and I get this question a lot, but my senator is Sherrod Brown or Pocahontas or something. I mean, why should I bother calling somebody who I know doesn't agree with me? And the answer is, here's why you should call. RJ, why?
Well, again, this is the one issue. This is the one time Democrats are in a really tough spot on immigration. Republicans have been squishy as well. You need to make your voice heard that you oppose amnesty, okay, as part of a $1.75 trillion unrelated spending package. It contains no enforcement trade-offs. It's amnesty for 7 million people. Even if you're senator, this is a unique time. If you look at the polling right now, if you're represented by a Democrat, I'm saying even if you're in, California, New York, even in the bluest of states, make your voice heard. Democrats are going to have a reality check at the polls here soon enough.
You must call now. This is the last major threat we face, probably until the end of 2022. The question then becomes, if the Senate parliamentarian allowed this in a budget reconciliation bill, 50 votes,
right,
a parole provision for 10 years,
well,
why couldn't a Republican Congress in 2023 undo it through the very same budget reconciliation
they could,
process?
but that's the whole reason why the parliamentarian has said no to the first two, because it could be easily undone. The third could as well. But just if there is a chance that she allows it to be included, my government relations team, we still know of efforts and we have close relationships on Capitol Hill. We will do a point of order in the Senate to try to strip it, make them vote on it. And then here's the elephant in the room. If the House got back a bill and it did contain this or a more watered down version, we're already seeing it up here in Washington. AOC and a lot of these radical open borders, Democrat grassroots groups, they won't even accept this amnesty. They say it's not enough. If we don't have a pathway to citizenship, we don't support it. If it has even the slightest bit of an enforcement trade-off, we won't support it. So even if the Senate gives back an amnesty to the House, all you need to do is pass it with your simple majority. I can still see some Democrats not wanting it. They are greedy on the immigration issue. They want open borders and everybody to have citizenship.
I am asking you, honestly, call now. Make them feel the pain.
Yeah. And go to fairus.org. Fairus.org. We got a nice take action page.
Your children and grandchildren do not deserve to be saddled with this ongoing, overweening, oppressive debt that they are accumulating. More importantly, no amnesty, no rewarding with citizenship lawbreakers, people who violate our immigration laws. I'm Dan Stein, RJ Hauman. Thanks for joining.